Stock market investors are excited about Take-Two Interactive stock because of its upcoming release of Grand Theft Auto 6, its flagship game, arguably the most popular game of all time, that's coming out on PlayStation 5 and Microsoft Xbox consoles, scheduled for the fall of this year in 2025. So investors want to know, should they buy Take-Two Interactive stock right now in anticipation of that release, or wait until after and see how the results are and then decide on buying the stock? I'll answer that question in this video, evaluating the longer-term prospects for Take-Two Interactive, sharing with you my proprietary discounted cash flow valuation for Take-Two Interactive so you can see my calculation for the fair value of its business today.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
So looking back over the previous decade, Take-Two Interactive has done a great job in boosting revenues. At $5.45 billion in the most recent trailing 12-month period, that's more than 4 times the level at 2015 of just $1.2 billion. Now, with the anticipated release of Grand Theft Auto, it's likely to boost revenue by a lot more. How much more remains to be seen. I'm going to share with you my free cash flow expectations for Take-Two Interactive, which shows you the Wall Street analyst expectations for where its free cash flow will be over the next few years. And of course, Wall Street is anticipating and incorporating the results from Grand Theft Auto's latest release into their expectations over the next few years. Now, looking at its cash flow from operations to sales numbers, they could desperately use that release. Its cash flow from operations to sales has been declining significantly, down to negative 6%, down from levels of around 15 to 30% before the COVID-19 pandemic, which of course was a boom for gaming, and then the reopening was the opposite. It was negative for gaming. Also, longer term, one of the benefits to Take-Two Interactive is going to be the digitization of gaming, where people are not buying the physical copies of games anymore. And so that lowers the cost of goods sold for a company like Take-Two Interactive. It also makes the business easier to manage. They don't have to forecast expected sales and production of those discs and distribution to partners, etc., etc. It's a lot more profitable for gaming companies to sell directly to customers without needing physical copies of discs to reach customers. And so that's going to be a big tailwind for the gaming industry that only recently got started, maybe in the last 5, 6, 7 years or so, the trend really accelerating. The returns on investor capital are just like the cash flows from operations. They're heading in the negative direction, and the company needs this game release to be very successful because otherwise the business is not doing very well, negative 37% in the most recent trailing 12-month period. So now let me share with you my valuation for Take-Two Interactive, my discounted cash flow model. The analysts on Wall Street that are following Take-Two Interactive, they expect the company will have another year of negative free cash flow in 2025, negative $330 million to be precise, but they expect 2026 to be a big turnaround with $1.6 billion in free cash flow. They expect a similar result in 2027 of $1.64 billion and then rising to $2.27 billion in 2028 before declining after the initial boom from the sales of Grand Theft Auto tapers off after a couple of years. Free cash flow expected to decline to $2.3 billion. From that point on, I'm forecasting its free cash flow will grow from $2.3 billion up towards $3 billion by the end of 2035. The discount rate I applied to get the present value of all its cash flows were 8.64%, gave the company a cost of debt of 6.5%, and it has a relatively low beta of 0.82. Overall, the intrinsic value, or the fair value I calculated for Take-Two Interactive, is $193. That compares relatively well to the current market price of $204 a share. Given I like to apply a margin of safety in my valuations, when I see a fair value this close to the current market price, I like to say the business is fairly valued. Now, when I approached valuation on a forward price to earnings basis, I found also that the business looks fairly valued at a forward PE of 22. Now, it's on the lower end of where it's traded for according to this valuation going back 5 years, but also the business has been doing poorly over the last couple of years with declining cash flows, negative cash flows, declining returns on investor capital. There is a lot of risk weighted towards this upcoming release of Grand Theft Auto. So, after evaluating the business history, looking ahead at Grand Theft Auto, looking at the valuation, where do I see Take Two Interactive? Do I think it's a buy in anticipation of the game release? I would say no. I would say if you're interested in buying this stock, I would think it would be better to wait until the valuation improves or wait until you see the release of the game and the results and then make a decision afterwards. If you already own the stock, I don't think it's overvalued to the point where it requires selling. And so I feel the stock is a hold or a market perform. Now, if you have expectations of the upcoming game release that are much better than the market expects, then it's not a terrible idea to buy the stock now. So that's where I feel with Take Two Interactive stock. I feel like it's a fairly valued business, but I don't think the business is an excellent business to warrant a purchase when it's trading at this valuation with so much risk upcoming in the next few months. So when you have elevated risks and you have the valuation not being so attractive, I like to lean towards waiting until that event takes place. After the event takes place, the risk will be dramatically lowered. And then even if the valuation is the same, you're getting a business with dramatically lower risk, which of course is more attractive because the risk versus reward is more attractive. Hey everyone, I'm excited to announce a brand new private Discord for our channel members at the VIP Discord level. It's a great place to connect with me directly, engage with like-minded investors, and learn more and take your investing to the next level. Spots are limited, so join now before it's too late.